Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. Today, we're looking at something that is just truly fascinating. We so often view ancient texts simply as religious artifacts or, historical poetry, but what if they were actually operating manuals for the human mind? Today, we're exploring the ancient Sanskrit Surya mantra. But we aren't looking at it through a religious lens at all. Instead, as you'll see, this ancient chant is actually a highly practical 8-step psychological blueprint. It's for personal discipline, emotional regulation, and deep psychological transformation. It is, quite literally, a masterclass in building a structured life. Okay, let's dive into this. First, we'll look at the sun's psychological blueprint. Second, vitality and authentic glow. Third, resilience through structured discipline. Fourth, destroying inertia and impurities. And finally, surrender and daily purpose. All right, starting with Section 1, the sun's psychological blueprint, the ultimate model of consistency. To really understand this framework, we have to recognize how ancient thinkers communicated. They often hid these incredibly sophisticated, super modern feeling frameworks for emotional regulation right inside vivid metaphors and daily rituals. The sun, in this context, isn't just a giant star in the sky. It actually represents the ultimate model of consistency, energy, and clarity that we can apply directly to our own minds. Here's the full mantra in Sanskrit. It translates phonetically to Jaba Kusuma Sinkasam Kashapayam Mahaditim, Tamohram Sarvabapagnam Pranatosmi Divakaram. Now, on the surface, sure, these are beautiful, poetic words dedicated to the sun god Surya. But we are grouping this 8-part mantra into a progressive journey of self-actualization. We're talking moving from basic physical vitality all the way up to ultimate psychological integration. Every single word in this chant represents a highly specific psychological milestone. So we're going to unpack these words one by one to reveal the hidden architecture of a truly disciplined, resilient mind. Moving right along to Section 2, Vitality and Authentic Glow. This is all about building your physical foundation. The ancient architects of this mantra understood a really fundamental truth that modern psychology completely supports today. Robust mental health requires a strong foundation of physical health. You literally cannot build a disciplined mind in a lethargic body. It just doesn't work. That's exactly why the very first word of the mantra is Jaba Kusuma. Literally, this translates to the vibrant red hibiscus flower. But psychologically, the color red here is this powerful symbol for blood, life force, and active physical energy. It's really about aligning your daily habits with the natural rhythm of the sun. When you wake with the sun and actively move your body, your blood circulation and physical vitality intrinsically improve. You're essentially syncing your biological clock with the natural world to completely optimize your physical baseline. So look at this contrast. The literal translation is a red hibiscus, but the psychological reality behind it is active physical energy and vitality. This contrast shows us that consistent, purposeful activity is what actually generates a natural state of high energy and well-being. It's the active choice to move, to keep your body and mind healthy, that acts as the rich soil from which all your other psychological strengths are going to grow. Let's move to the next word and see how this all builds. Sankasam translates to resembles or glowing like. And this is the direct, totally natural result of the vitality we just talked about. Sankasam is the external manifestation of your internal energy. When you are fully energized and living with absolute purpose, you naturally emit this metaphorical glow. It's that genuine enthusiasm and sharp clarity that people just instinctively notice, observe, and deeply respect when you walk into a room. Think of that one person you know who just radiates this quiet competence and energy, right? They aren't faking it. It's the organic byproduct of a truly well-regulated life. All right, Section 3, Resilience through Structured Discipline. Time to build your mental armor. Now we're moving upward into the mental scaffolding phase of our journey. Once the physical body is energized and glowing with vitality, the blueprint essentially instructs us to fortify the mind. We have to learn how deliberate, structured habits actually act as a protective shield against the absolute mental chaos of the modern world. The third word is Kashyapayam. Historically, this refers to being a descendant of the great sage Kashyapa, but the psychological implication, that's all about lineage, structure, and discipline. Think about how a lineage is actually built. It doesn't just happen overnight. It takes generations of consistent, dedicated effort. In that exact same way, good qualities, emotional stability, and psychological strength are not overnight miracles. They are deliberately cultivated through a highly structured life and intentional habits that you build over time. And this psychological structure is built step by step. First, you establish deliberate habits. Those are the daily routines that keep you anchored. Over time, those habits compound to create step 2, emotional stability. You reach a point where you are no longer thrown off course by every minor inconvenience in your day. Finally, that stability forms this impenetrable armor, leading to step 3, inner resilience. This step-by-step scaffolding is what ultimately shields us from both external stressors and internal chaos. And this brilliantly illustrates our next concept, Mahadhyuttam, which literally translates to great brilliance. In our psychological blueprint, Mahadhyuttam is the resiliency you absolutely need to navigate difficult times. When you've established that solid structure of Kasyapayam, it directly produces this inner brilliance. It's literally your mental flashlight. It grants you the clarity to find your way out of mental confusion, emotional turmoil, and the absolute darkest moments of your life. Section 4. Destroying inertia and impurities. This is the internal battle. Now that we've built our vitality and our mental resilience, it is time to go on the offensive. This phase of the blueprint shifts our focus to the active internal battle, where we use our newly built resilience to fight against the things that hold us back: procrastination, self-sabotage, and toxic habits. The word tomonim literally means the enemy of darkness. In ancient texts, this active conscious energy is likened to the goddess Durga destroying the demon Mahishasura. Psychologically speaking, this is your personal battle against tamas. That's a Sanskrit concept representing inertia, lethargy, mental stagnation, and ignorance. Tamonim is the active, conscious energy required to conquer that heavy, stagnant feeling. The one that keeps you doom-scrolling on the couch for 2 hours when you know for a fact you should be working toward your goals. So, the literal enemy of darkness is, in modern terms, the act of overcoming inertia and procrastination. But why does this actually matter to you? Because a structured, disciplined life is the ultimate, highly practical antidote to your daily battles with procrastination. When that darkness of mental stagnation starts creeping in, your structured habits act as the literal enemy of that darkness, automatically pulling you right back into the light of action. The next word in the sequence is Sarvopap Anjan, which refers to the sun as an all-consuming fire. Psychologically, when your vitality is high and your discipline is totally locked in, it acts as a purifying flame. This fire burns away negative psychological traits, impurities like lingering guilt, persistent self-sabotage, and deeply ingrained toxic habits. They are literally reduced to ash, leaving you with a completely clean psychological slate to operate from. Finally, Section 5, Surrender and Daily Purpose, Profound Integration. We have now reached the final stage of our explainer. This is the absolute pinnacle of the blueprint. We've built the structure, we've fought the battles, and now we reach the stage of profound integration. We're discovering how the simple act of letting go actually creates the ultimate transformative power in a person's life. Now, what's really interesting about this concept of pranotasmi is its modern translation, to bow down or surrender. In our modern culture, we so often associate surrender with weakness, right? Like giving up. But in this psychological framework, bowing down signifies letting go of your ego and having the deep humility to acknowledge what you simply do not know. This conscious surrender is incredibly powerful because it acts as a bridge, uniting your rigid external ego with your internal, authentic, higher self. And that union? It leads to integration. When the ego and higher self unite, a tremendous transformative change occurs in your life. This integration is the true roof of our architectural blueprint. It takes all the structure, discipline, and vitality we've built so far and transforms it into profound personal transformation. You are no longer just fighting your way through life. You are aligned, integrated, and moving with totally effortless purpose. And that brings us to the final word of the mantra, Diva Karam, which beautifully translates to the maker of the day. This isn't just a cool title for the sun, it is the ultimate actionable principle for you. It means applying this entire solar blueprint every single morning. It means making the conscious, deliberate decision the very moment you wake up to start your day with the absolute focus, sharp clarity, and unwavering consistency of the sun rising in the east. So we've journeyed all the way from building basic physical vitality to the profound integration of surrender. The blueprint is laid out right in front of you. It's incredibly practical, it's highly structured, and it's been tested by centuries of human experience. The only thing left now is the application. So keeping Divakaram in mind, the maker of the day, I want to leave you with this final vital question. Tomorrow morning, when the sun rises,